Do you know that once a child is born, that child loses 90% of their memory, of the memory of who they used to be before they were born? It means that before we were born, we were something where we used to be. And now we are born, we lose 90% of who we used to be before we were born. Now, some people might think this is not true, but I'll prove it tonight that this is absolutely true. Now, let me ask you, where do you think your ambition, your vision, your drive comes from? It's like there is something pushing you towards something. You know, before I formed you, I knew who you were. You know, and let me let's dive deeper into this reality. Some people find out who they used to be before they were born. Unfortunately, some people don't. And why is it that there are only few people that truly discovers who they are? I said previously that if you're born, 50% is discovering why you were born, and the next 50% is finding a way to fulfill the purpose or the aim of your birth. Okay, let me take example of a seed. Let's say you have an apple seed. An apple seed has the ability to become an apple tree, right? So if an apple seed is planted on a fertile soil, that apple seed has the capacity to become an apple tree over time. Now, so we'll say that an apple seed is a potential tree that has lost its memories of being a tree, but has the ability to grow to become one. Hope you understand the analogy. An apple seed has the ability to become an apple tree, but it has lost its memory of what an apple tree looks like. So it needs to grow to have an experience of becoming an apple tree. That's how you and I are. We were born, we used to be, let me use like the apple seed, the apple tree. We used to be an apple tree, but when we were born as a seed, we need to grow to discover, okay, I'm an apple seed, and the other person has to discover who they are. Okay, you are an orange tree. Okay, you are a mango tree or a mango seed. I need to grow to become a mango seed. A mango tree. I need to grow to become an orange tree. Some people could be mango seed and they want to grow to become an orange tree. So it's trying to become who you are not, and it can never ever work out. Now that's why there are a lot of challenges of people who try to become who they are not meant to be. It destroys them. Okay, this is a strange reality, but that's what I've discovered from my research, that each and every one of us used to be kings and queens where we are. There was a responsibility that we had the capacity and the ability to do there. We are doing there then, and when we were born into a flesh. And you know that this body, well, I'll get down to it, just hold on. So each and every one of us has the ability to learn who we were before we were born. Absolutely. Each and every one of us has the ability to learn and discover who we used to be before we were given birth on this earth. Remember, we are spirits having fleshly experience or body experience. We are not this, our spirits are taking on the form of this body. Our body is not our true form. Okay, the power of distraction. Now, have you noticed that actually everything is geared towards distracting mankind from becoming who he is supposed to become? Have you really realized that this is a conscious game being played to distract mankind from becoming who they were supposed to become? It's like a mango tree is being distracted from a mango seed is being distracted from becoming a mango tree, or an apple seed is being distracted from becoming an apple tree. Do you get my point? So the power of distraction is that distraction has a way of pulling you outside the reality of achieving the sole purpose why you were given life. Okay, how do you know you have lost your memories? That's the right question someone who reasons is supposed to ask. How do you know that you've lost your memories from where you used to be to this place? It's like we were transported from where we used to be from a different reality into a different dimensional reality. This earth is a 3D, a three-dimensional reality. We used to exist in a different reality. In the reality we used to exist, there were no boundaries. But in these realities, there are boundaries. Our body is a boundary that contains us, is a boundary that contains our abilities and flexibility within this sphere. So we have to learn how to dynamically uh, move and permeate and effectively function in this reality. These are some of the limitations that this 3D reality has given to you and I. Okay, now how do you know you've lost your memories? The first one is your conscience or your mind still retains some of the part of who you were, but your body doesn't. Now, let me explain this. It means that irrespective that we've lost 90% of our memories, our memory from where we used to be to this place, remember that the earth is a different reality or dimensional reality from where we used to exist. So it means that losing 90% of our memories during the transportation or during the time we arrived, but our subconscious mind still retains 10% of who we used to be, or what we used to, who we were before we came. So that's why it seems like there are some things you want to do. It seems like your mind is pulling you away from it. It's telling you this is not right. This is not the thing you're supposed to be going after. This is not the right path to follow. That's your mind kind of directing you to the right path, because your mind still retains who you used to be before you came to this reality. Do you understand? Okay, remember I told you that we are body, soul, and spirit, and I told you that among these three parts of us, tripartite being, that the spirit is much older than the body. The spirit is the oldest, the body is the youngest, and the mind or the soul is in between, is the gatekeeper between the mind, between the body and the spirit. Remember, I told you that the strongest among these three parts of us is the mind, not the body, not the spirit. Irrespective that the spirit is older than the body, but the mind is the gatekeeper. It's the one that allows what it wants to allow. Now, why am I bringing this up? Now, if the spirit is older than the body, it means that the body has limitations that the spirit could do, but the body cannot really function in those realities that the spirit of mankind had or is or could perform. So the body puts a limitation in this 3D reality. Now, your our conscience is the our conscience is like our memory storage. Our conscience or our mind is our memory storage. It stores part of the things that we used to experience when we are not here. That's why sometimes you'll be in the dream, you see that you are doing extraordinary things. You are seeing yourself living in an extraordinary reality, but when you wake up, your reality, the 3D dimensional reality on earth is different from what you saw. Why? That's to tell you that you used to be this kind of person when you were there, but here you are. Is giving you, there is limitation to what you could become here because of the body. Okay, let me go further. So your mind, our mind, is it gives us an idea of who we used to be, of or who we was. Okay, now some become something else, but deep down in their life they have a lot of regret. Some are great people, or some are, let's say, there was this story of a man, a guy. His family wanted him, his mother, his parent wanted him to be a lawyer. He went to law school, graduated, and he came back, took the certificate, gave it to his parents, and went to chase his dream. That's why, because he said that the law was not what was on his mind, but his parent wanted him to become a lawyer, so he had to just fulfill that wish for them. Then he went for the dream in his heart. Why am I bringing this up? Some people become something else outside who they are supposed to become. Maybe you are, let's say, a medical doctor, but circumstances might make you not realize that uh, that destiny, or what has you've been already programmed or predestined to become. You know, that's what I said, that this body has a lot of limitations that has made the spirit of man cannot really function effectively on this earth. The body is a very, very big limitation to our reality. Okay, the next, uh, the shock is those who live a fulfilled life are those who find out who they were. Have you noticed that living a fulfilled life does not really mean having all the money in the world? You know, it could be that you were a farmer to feed a lot of people on earth, and you have fulfillment in it, and there is peace in your heart. There is peace in your heart that this is what I was predestined to become, and you have peace in your heart on it. So if you don't have peace in your heart on your profession or what you're doing, then it could be a sign that you are in the wrong place of who you are supposed to become. You know, there is this book that a man went to the hospital, and there were a lot of people who were about to die. He asked them, what were your regrets? What were their regrets? A lot of them were saying, I wish I could live, I wished I lived the life that I wanted to live. I wished I chased the dream that was in my heart. I wished, there was this regrets over and over and over in their hearts, because what was in their heart, remember I told you that our heart is the compass given to us by our Creator, and He puts the will, the 10% memory of what we used to be there in our hearts, in our compass, to go after it. That's why your compass and my compass are not the same. Okay, now an important question is, how can I find out who I used to be? This is a very, very intelligent question. Now, to find out who you used to be, you need to find out, what is my purpose? What is the purpose of a car? The purpose of a car is to take you from one point, from one destination to the other, to take you around, for you to move around. Mobility. What is the purpose of a food? The purpose of food is for you to eat, to get energy. What is the purpose of a cloth? The purpose of a cloth is for you to wear it, to cover up for cold, for for to look beautiful. Now, if you realize the purpose you were made, you've solved 50% of the problem. The 50%, the next 50% is how will I achieve this dream, this reality. Now, that's why it's very, very important to know what is my purpose. The purpose, you cannot take a car, the purpose of a car cannot fulfill the purpose of a a jet. The purpose of a bag cannot fulfill the purpose of a mobile phone. So everything made has a purpose. What is your purpose? From your purpose, your heart gives you peace of mind, even though it's difficult. It's not easy, but your heart gives you peace of mind. This is what it is. Once you have peace of mind in what you're doing, it could be a sign you found your purpose. And if you found your purpose, going, it may be difficult, it may be hard, but give it your best shot, because it means that there is a possibility that that's where you were predestined to fulfill a certain purpose. Okay, we've been lied to that we have five senses. The Bombies, they've told us that we have five senses. That's the body. They told us we have the sight, the hearing, touch, smell, taste. These are the five senses that they told us we had or we have. Okay, well, if we are tripartite being, that's three in one being, body, soul, and spirit. 5 times 3 will be what? That should be 15, right? So it means that we do not have 5 senses only. We have 15 senses. So the body has 5, the soul has 5, the spirit has 5. That's 15. Now, it sounds strange, but if you think critically, you find that, okay, if we are 3 beings in one, if we are 3 in one being, then the body, soul, and the spirit, then it means the body has 5 senses, the spirit has 5 senses, the soul definitely has 5 senses. Let me list them so you think them through when you go do your own research. The body, they told us we have sight, hearing, touch, taste, smell. These are the 5 senses in the body. Okay, now the soul, we have the mind. That's where ideas come in. Ideas, thoughts come into your mind. Now we have the will. The will is the zeal to act on those thoughts that came into your mind. We have emotions where you feel anger, pain, anguish, and all that. We have imagination. Imagination is where how would this thing look like? Imagination is more like seeing what is not how it could be. And we have affection, where how we feel for others, how your affection, how you feel for someone else. Now, if you check it very well, you see that these are also important sensory part of us that are very, very vital, that helps each and every one of us live an effective life. Now, the spiritual senses are prayer. Prayer, another name for prayer is petition. Petition, not just prayer. People call it prayer, but it's petition, because petition is you are telling you the judge, because our creator is the judge. You tell him, I did this, I deserve this. And you are rendering your petition to the creator. It's like going to a judge telling the judge, I did this, I'm a responsible citizen, and as a responsible citizen, these are my rights as a responsible citizen. The right judge will say, give it to him, give it to her, she deserves it, he deserves it. That's petition. That's what prayer is. Okay, praise is appreciation or honor. Worship is the third one. That's gratitude. You have it. Once you wake up in the morning, there should be a sense of gratitude that the life is not ours. We are given life for a purpose, to achieve a purpose. Faith is ability. Just like a seed has the ability to become a tree, so faith is ability that we have in each and every one of us to achieve a purpose. And the last one is meditation. That's self-reflection, retrospection. What have I done? How can I do better? How can I do it better? Did I go wrong? How can I do it next time? That's meditation. Now, I've listed for the body, I listed sight, hearing, touch, taste, and smell. For the soul, I said mind, will, emotion, imagination, and affection. And for the spirit, I said prayer or petition, praise or appreciation or honor, worship or gratitude, faith or ability, meditation or self-reflection or retrospection. Now, do you know the funniest thing? Each side of these senses is needed for you to become an effective person to achieve your purpose. Now, if these 5 senses or these 15 senses are activated, you have a very high probability to channel or assimilate or remember what you used to be then and bring it down to this place. Why some people cannot achieve all that we are meant to be is because all these 5 senses in each part of this side of our realities, body, soul, and spirit, which makes them 15 senses, are not activated. If these 15 senses are activated, you see the person walks, thinks differently, acts differently, behaves differently. You will like, I don't really understand this person, but I just like this person. There is something about this person that is different. Why? Because they are activated in all their senses. They are receiving information. They are remembering who they used to be then, and they are activating it here. Now, it means that the limitations that used to hold them bound, they can permeate, they can overcome those limitations through the abilities and those as the abilities and the capacities they have through their, because every purpose has ability attached to it. So by remembering who they are there and going after it here, those limitations do not hold them bound anymore. Now, to become who you once were before you were born, you need to develop these 15 senses to be effective. Now, why is this video very important? Somebody might say, well, but you see, how is it that are you sure we lose our memories? How can you really put a finger on that? Well, I've really explained it to you. You and I forget. Sometimes you forget people's names. That's true. But you see, there is something that will happen that the name of someone will be indelible in your mind. Now, if you are really serious with your purpose, and you are really serious, and your senses, these 15 senses are activated, you will remember who you are supposed to be, who you were, who you're supposed to be, and what you're supposed to achieve. There will be no confusion in who you're supposed to become. I hope this video helps you to live an effective life, and for you to know that there are more that we can become than just who we are at the moment. Until next time, I bounce.